Wow, what a riff. What a riff. You like that riff on a Thursday? Well, I just have to basically rip my first cup of coffee during that intro there. So I let that riff play out. Plus, it's a badass riff for episode 41 of Sean and Spin in the Morning, presented by Off Base Media. Thursday, July 31st. That's the big fucking day. That's the big day, 31st. And for those of you who don't know, that's the trade deadline. So we got a little trade deadline special on a Thursday. A lot of stuff going around the league, too. We'll touch on some of the newer shit that's happened over the course of this week, because there has been a lot of shit. But most importantly, it's the deadline. And then we'll be back to our regular scheduled program tomorrow. But first, Shani, how are we feeling on this deadline Thursday?
Good. I'm really hoping there's a lot more moves to go, because you and me had both predicted there has been a lot. There has been a lot of moving parts and everything like that. The Mets surprised me by going for more bullpen. I thought they would go for starting pitching over bullpen, but they're just saying we're going to put the steel curtain up instead of we know our starting pitchers are what they are, so at least let's have a really good bullpen. So some teams like that have been surprising me a little. A lot of names still out there, though, Spin. A lot of names still out there, though.
And it's going to be interesting to see what teams are doing. I mean, we've seen teams touch on issues, especially yesterday. Yesterday was kind of really got hot yesterday. But we see teams touch on a little bit of the issues yesterday, but there's still teams that aren't perfect. And we were talking about the Cubs before we came on. Yeah, they made this cutesy little deal for Mike Soroka, which we'll get into some of the stuff that's happened. But that can't be the move for them in terms of starting pitching. Mariners have been doing a good job, and Mets with their pen, good job, whatever there. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about got to get on a serious note here, because rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg, legend of the game, Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. I believe I might actually have a Ryan Sandberg bobblehead when he was managing the Piggies.
He's been all around the game. Talk about a guy that had a long career just with baseball in general. Because he went from playing to coaching. He's a Hall of Famer. It's a sad day anytime you lose somebody like that.
Yeah, especially a Hall of Famer. So that sticks there. Kind of old news, but we got to throw out our condolences for the great Ryan Sandberg. Not Reen, Sean.
Not Reen. Nah, I won't say it this time. R.I.P.
Yeah, Ryan. Anyway, Cubs legend, and then had, I think when he came over to Philly, I think he must have really liked Philly. I guess he started in Philly as a player, but he must have really he must for a year, but he must have really liked it because he coached and managed and all that stuff. So he stayed with that organization. All right, cool.
Yeah, he was during the dark ages.
Yeah, he was.
He was during the dark ages.
He did manage during the dark ages of Philly, so that kind of stinks. It would be great to put a better team around the Hall of Fame mind. But okay, either way. Speaking of the Phils, stick with this one, Sean. What's going on with this with Phillies versus Manfred? I have been following that closely.
So I don't know why Rob Manfred was. So basically, Rob Manfred came and visited the Phillies. He was in the clubhouse. I don't know if it was before or after. The minor details, I don't know why. I don't know why he was there to begin with, but they were, they're him, so Harper, Rob Thompson, and Manfred. I'm pretty sure were chit chatting for a good amount of time, and then one thing led to another, and Manfred started talking about a salary cap. Well, I think Bryce Harper has probably been one of the people who's been most adamant that there should not be a salary cap. So Bryce Harper got nose to nose with Rob Manfred and said, if you want to talk about that, you can get the fuck out of our clubhouse. And to get nose to nose with the commissioner and tell him to basically go fuck himself, that's why he's in Philly. And that's why he's in love. That's why he is loved in Philly and always will be loved in Philly.
Yeah.
Salary cap, I don't agree with. I don't care that the Dodgers spend all that kind of money. It's just, I like a shout out. I think there should be a salary floor because it's absolute horseshit that some of these owners don't spend any fucking money for their teams and just want to, profit off of them and not actually do anything for their teams. You got fans of this organization. You need to spend some fucking money or something like that. You know what I mean?
I do. I actually think that's a good way to put it. The salary cap stuff doesn't bother me too much. It does bother some people. So
yeah,
fine.
It's
it happens in other sports do have it. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I just think the thing that sucks with no salary cap would be a team like maybe the A's or something, and they won't be able to re-sign their players, or they won't re-sign their players, and then Brent Rooker gets dealt to a good team. And actually, I think Rooker might have a no trade clause if he's been very vocal about wanting to stay with the A's. But either way, I'm just using that as an example. Like someone in these guys that now that the A's finally have an identity, that's a small window with some of these guys because they're not going to re-sign them or they're not going to spend big bucks. And the good teams will, or big teams will. And then that's the thing that sucks. The thing that it's not like it's not fair though. I don't know. I look around the MLB and I can make a case that there's 20 out of the 30 teams are at least competitive.
Yeah, 100. Especially this year, it's all up in the air. You can say a whole lot. You have teams who do it with, with just buying. Like you have the Mets, you have the Dodgers. I mean, the Phillies have bought a lot in the past. Now they've retained a lot of people, but they've bought a lot in the past. You have guys, but then and the Yankees too. They also pay a lot of money for a lot of their players. Then you have teams like Detroit. You have teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, who kind of the homegrown talent, and it's worked out for them as well. So there's ways to work around it. Now, granted, are the people with the high payrolls probably going to be the teams that are there in October? Yeah, most likely, because you got the best teams, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And I just wish some of these teams would spend more and actually kind of care about their organization, because it seems like the owners 95% of the time, they just want to profit. They don't want to actually spend any money to help their teams out.
Yeah, I do see it for both ways. In the defense of a team like the Angels, who was probably the worst team in baseball over the past however many years, because they have the longest playoff drought. So I'm going to say that that's the worst team, just given the fact that they haven't been in the playoffs till maybe they have a 10-year playoff drought at least. So in their defense, it's not like they haven't spent money. They also just made horrible moves. So there's that too. Also, I'll be in their defense. I'm also a little bit in the defense of I don't think Moneyball works personally. So I can see why these low market teams, these small market teams want that salary cap or whatever. Maybe they're fighting for it and the other teams are fighting. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's a case by case basis. Who the hell knows? But I also can see it from that perspective, because I don't necessarily jump out of my shoes. This isn't really my expertise or my cup of tea when talking about baseball. It's oh yeah, salary cap's up. But I'm who gives? I want to put my feet up on a recliner and watch the fucking Yankees play. But that's my thing. I don't really go this route. But either way, it's for someone who doesn't think that Moneyball works, I could see it from that perspective too. Because Moneyball doesn't work. I don't think it works because it doesn't work.
Well, it hasn't worked yet. Nobody has proven that it does work. Everybody has. That's probably won a World Series in the last, I don't know, ever.
If the goal is to win a World Series, then Moneyball doesn't work. If the goal, the point of Moneyball, the movie, which is a fine movie, what do you want to Billy B want to not get fired? Moneyball will work if you want to save face and maybe not get fired. You could do enough. You could do enough to make the playoffs and not.
Yeah, put together a team to make the playoffs. You can put together a team, a very, very or a team-oriented team. It's not but you're not going to have every single capacity in one if you don't spend some freaking money. Yeah. And that's what I'm worried about. With these A's, I think we've said it all along. The young guys there, they have promise for the first time in a long time, and if they don't spend any money, you can't field a team with 9 prospects. How many times do you hit on 9 out of 9 on prospects and things like that?
Barely
There's
times you hit 2 out of 2.
exactly. So there's so many variables that go into it, and it just sucks.
Yeah, it does. It sucks. I could talk all day about how much I don't think Moneyball works. But that was a different conversation. We kind of veered off there. But I love that Harper got in the Manfred's face. People are kind of like, oh no, oh that's your boss, or that's like your boss's boss's boss. It's like shut up. He's a suit.
He is a suit, and Manfred has not been very. I mean, Manfred has. I will say this: he's very up and down in senses of being like a commissioner. Like he's very, I would say, mid as being a commissioner. Like he's done some good things with the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock was a good addition. Baseball purists will say no, but to grow the game in a sense, they have more people watch. Like stadiums are a lot more packed now because it's going to be a quicker game.
What Manfred's claim to fame is going to be like this transition because he's going to be gone soon.
He is going to be gone soon.
So I don't know his whole thing. He's got like a few years, but like his whole thing as commissioner is going to be kind of passing that baton from that older era of baseball to kind of this new generation. Because now it's not like a different game, but there's all these different rule changes and shit. And I'm never an advocate for the rule changes, and then they kind of happen, with the exception of runner on second. But
you liked runner on second?
No, that's the one I can't.
Oh, I hated that.
That's the one I guess the one that you can't justify at all. But
no.
All the other rule changes, I hate all of them at first, and then they come into play, and then I'm just like, you know what? It's not really the end of the world. You know what I mean? With the exception of runner on second, which is horrible. So like that's what I'm saying. Like with Manfred's claim to fame, his thing is like he's taking these risks, whether you like it or not. He's the one that's kind of taking these risks. He's going to get the shit into the stick no matter what, but that's the job you sign up for, and whatever. And he has to. I still think he's a suit. I don't think he should get shit on for as much as he does. I think he just gets shit on because we're conditioned to shit on commissioners. But his claim to fame is going to be he took the risks. He's going to be the middleman of old era to new generation, blah, blah, blah. There's Manfred. But I like that Harper got in his face. That's great.
Before we move on from the Manfred thing, he has come out and publicly said that they are completely willing to lock out for a whole entire year.
Oh, that's the other thing too. Fuck, I forgot about that.
So he said they are completely willing to lock out for an entire year. And that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too. That's ridiculous. I think that's an empty threat. But also, I feel like I really didn't think it was going to go that route because there was like a few too many people talking about a potential lockout, and I'm just like, you know what? Usually, I don't know about these things, but I feel like when these things happen, like then they don't get talked about. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Maybe that's not true. Maybe that's not true. And plus, the last time there was a lockout, it wasn't in the age of social media anyway. So it's like I don't know. But
it's been a while. I think the last one was the NBA, like sport wise. I think the NBA did it when we were kids, and then we haven't seen one since.
Was there like a strike in football? Didn't the refs go on a strike or some shit?
I don't know. Who cares? Fucking refs.
That's different. Yeah.
But they can just hire new ones.
but like still like I was like, yeah, a lot of people are talking about this. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But now it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it might.
Well, let's stick with some dog shit things happening around the league. Your buddy Rich Hill, Dick Mountain, Kansas City DFA'd him. It was fun while it lasted. Rich.
Hey, did he set the record for oldest person to ever pitch in a baseball game? Start a baseball game?
I don't think he set that.
Or does Jamie still hold it?
I would assume Jamie did, or there's just some random ass motherfucker that pitched when he was really old. But it was fun while it lasted, Rich. What did he do? He gave him 2 starts, 9 innings between 2 starts. He got 2 losses, but not awful. His first outing, 5 innings, 1 earned against the Cubs at Wrigley. And then, he did have 8 walks in 9 innings, so holy fuck. But either way,
Satchel Paige was the oldest. He pitched the game at like 59.
No one's beating that record.
Oh God, Jamie Moyer isn't even close. We got some old guys who.
What was pitching, Jamie like 46? Was Jamie?
Yeah, there's been. Let's see. Back in the day, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who pitched into their 50s.
And you know what? And I'm not even gonna say it.
They also smoked a pack a day and drank like
I was
insane
I
amount, and
was
all probably fought in a war.
I was
And then
gonna
they
play
pitched
into
into
the
their
I
50s.
was gonna play into the hand of like the people that are like, oh, if Babe Ruth played now, he wouldn't make the team. Like, it's like, yeah, fucking relax, everybody. But I was gonna totally play into that hand. But that's kind of nuts. Either way, Rich Hill did set the fucking record or tied the record of most teams have ever played for with like Edwin Jackson or some shit, like
Pretty
14,
crazy.
15. So he got 2 starts with Kansas City to be able to put his name. That's another record that I don't know if anyone passes. Who's the fuck's going to play for 14, 15 teams or whatever?
Tommy Pham.
And yeah, Tommy's well on his way. Now, he's old, though, so he's got to continue to be a journeyman. By the way, won't be a trade deadline unless he gets dealt. So
I know. So we'll
our
see what
eyes on
happens
Tommy.
today.
Yeah.
He might be a piece with Bednar, but we'll talk about that later.
That'd be kind of nuts, actually. I'm rooting for it just so he can never be on the full season with the team. I don't know. I don't know the last time he had a full season somewhere. It feels like he's always like in the playoffs too.
Yeah, teams normally like I guess. So I haven't paid much attention to Tommy Pham, but every now and again, one of our Pirates fan will be like, "Tommy Pham is going absolutely unconscious right now."
Well, last time we talked about him, it was like he was getting hot just right at the right time for him to maybe be a sexy deadline piece.
Yep,
He is hitting 273 right now. So
in 2024, he was with 3 teams. In 2023, he was with 2 teams. 22, 2 teams. And then before that, he was with the Padres for 2 seasons, the Rays for 2 seasons. Stay was saying, nope, 2 teams in 2018 as well.
Yeah, see, it's not a deadline unless Pham gets dealt. Well, here's a guy. Oh, actually, well, before we get to that, let's go with Acuna. What's good with Acuna? He banged up again, this motherfucker?
Yeah, he got. I don't know what it is, but I just know he got Acuna got banged up again. And I did remember seeing something like he was like in tears. I don't think because of the pain, but I think it was so like he just is so pissed off that he can't stay healthy. Because he loves to play. I hate the Braves. I hate it. But it's bad for baseball when Acuna doesn't play because he is so freaking good.
Got a grade 1 lower right calf strain Wednesday following an MRI. David O'Brien of The Athletic reports. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. Sucks for my fantasy team, too. That's the first thing I always think of. Guys get hurt. I'm like, oh, fuck, I have him in fantasy. And I drafted him in fantasy knowing he was going to start the year in the IL. I waited out until he gets back. Obviously, he kicks ass, so it's like, oh, good move. Makes the All-Star team after, only playing a month and a half of the season.
Yeah.
And gets voted in as a starter because he was, everyone likes him, I guess, but also
he was unbelievable when
popularity
he came back.
contest, but also fucking was a stud, so kind of deserved it. And then now look at him. So I don't know. I guess he's on the 10-day IL right now, so hopefully it's not too bad. But holy shit, Ronald, he's kind of been a liability for fantasy owners. Either way, Braves aren't really competing for much, so it's not like, oh shit, it's not like the Yankees with Judge. That could be
that could be bad. Yeah,
at least the Braves aren't playing for anything really, but that sucks. It sucks for Acuna personally because he struggled to stay on the field. He's had monster injuries in the past, and now it's here's another one. This is like the icing on top of the season in terms of him getting banged up. So that sucks. From one outfielder to another, Adam Jones. He's getting inducted into the Orioles Hall of Fame August 9th. He's kind of one of our childhood motherfuckers.
Yeah, and a Team USA guy too.
Oh,
which
yeah,
he had a really cool moment robbing his teammate actually at the time, Manny Machado. Do you remember that? That center field catch.
An incredible catch.
That was really cool. But Adam Jones always brought so much energy when he played for those Team USA teams. I remember with the Orioles, but I don't remember him. I remember him more in that World Baseball Classic because I think that was right around the ripe age of me really getting into baseball.
Well, that would have been the 17 World Baseball Classic, so
it was a little later. It was a little later, but still, he was a prominent player in our youth.
He was
him and Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, some of the more notable center fielders of back then. So, I remember him as an Oriole first before he came up with Seattle, but we all know him as an Oriole for the most part from 08 to 18 over there. I do remember him going to the Diamondbacks in 19. That was his last year of MLB. Then guess what? He played for the Oryx Buffaloes, and that's Buffaloes with a 2 Fs A Loes Buffaloes. So I think that's Japan. I think that's how they spelled buffaloes in Japan. Buffaloes. But anyway, then he did that for a few seasons. But either way, we know him as an Oriole. He's going to be forever known as an Oriole because now he's going into the Orioles Hall of Fame. In his Orioles 10 years, when he had them, that's a big chunk of his season. 5-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves, and a Silver Slugger in that span. And yes, he was one of the better center fielders, pretty much, of our generation, probably over the past however many years, maybe of all time. Where do you rank him? He's probably top 20 center fielder all time. Why not?
Ooh, that's a conversation.
Why not? Why not? He's got 4 or 5 fucking Gold Gloves out there. He's played 10 years with the Orioles and was a fucking stud. If they were 20, I don't know. Is that
Baltimore? He was in Baltimore in the extremely dark ages. I just think, I would honestly, I think that's not too far off, Spin.
He's not. He's like not. He was like a season away from getting 1,000 ribbies and maybe a season away from 300 home runs. A career 277 hitter. I mean, can you name 20 all time? I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, but I mean, how many? We have to see how many center fielders are in the Hall of Fame. Pure center filders, though.
Exactly. That's the
conversation for a later date.
That is the one thing with center fielders is I think Jones. I don't want to talk out of my ass here, but I feel like he only played center field. Like he didn't move.
Yeah, you got to be pure center. I mean, I would consider Trout a center fielder, so that's fine. He'll whatever. But like you're talking the Willie Mazes, the Ken Griffey's, and whoever the fuck else I'm missing. I don't know, DiMaggio and shit. That's like your top 5, top 7, and then you start to get to the top 10. It's like I don't know, and then you go to Duke Schneider.
It's a lot of old timers. Like Mickey Mantle, you got to probably throw in there.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Ty Cobb a center fielder.
Is that what it says? I guess I don't know these old fuckers. I think he was though.
Yeah, but I think a lot of the.
We lost Shawnee. He'll be back. But anyway, that's a conversation for a later date. We don't have to go through all of them right now because we do have our trade deadline shit to talk about, and we would be curious to see what Shawnee had to say with that list he had pulled up. But we all know who the all-timers are: Mantle, DiMaggio, Duke Schneider, motherfucking Willie Mays. I think after you get to here's Sean's back. I think after you get through the top, an obvious 5, then you have the next tier of like you finish off the top 10. I think Adam Jones is probably in that 15 to 20 range all time. I would put Torrey Hunter ahead of him.
They don't have anybody they don't have him here at all.
Who, Jones?
Yeah. Did you hear any of the people I said?
No, you cut out.
Oh, so you got so there's a lot of old heads on here. Like this guy played his starting day was in 1907.
Yeah, that's
1905.
If they would have played this day and age, they wouldn't even made the team.
But you have like Kenny Lofton, who had a good career.
Yeah.
Duke Snyder, he was 47. Carlos Beltran.
Yeah, I guess he's better than
Andrew Jones.
Andrew Jones
well.
for sure.
Jim Edmonds, Richie Ashburn.
That's your buddy.
Oh, McCutchen.
Yeah, but McCutchen and Jones are so comparable. If you're going to put McCutchen in the top,
McCutchen's got an MVP.
That's true.
McCutchen's got an MVP, and his team also made the playoffs. What? 2-3 years? I mean, it's a little bit better than Jones.
Jones might have made the playoffs. He had there were some times with there were some good Orioles teams like
a lot. You have like Kirby Puckett.
Yeah, it's a good one. I forget about him.
Bernie.
Oh, Bernie! Forget about Bernie.
Curtis Granderson, Johnny Damon.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'm getting into these later names. Like they have
What number on the list are you?
Johnny Damon was 32. A ton of these guys. I don't really. I'll be completely honest. I don't know a lot of these names because they're a lot of old heads.
Yeah, see, that's dumb.
Yeah, I would.
Who was the guy from like 1908 on this fucking list? We like Adam Jones. He was fucking cool as shit. Maybe I jumped out of my shoes for top 20, but either way, he was a top fucking whatever for our generation. Like for a 10-year span, he was top fucking whatever. So he's got to be up.
Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, he's bad boy. He's getting fucking.
He is a bad boy.
He's getting like a jacket soon he's like his Rangers Hall of Fame jacket or whatever they do in Texas. He's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. Bad boy.
Yeah,
Bad boy. But he's got an MVP too.
I mean, his prime. It was short, but damn, was it good.
Yeah, and he was juicing in a different way.
Yeah, in a different form of it, but it was working apparently.
I think it came in the form of powder and not. Maybe there were some needles involved too. Either way, bad boy Josh. Hey, he won an MVP, so whatever he was doing, you kind of want to say.
And put on a show in the home run derby back in the day.
You
do you remember that?
Yeah, that was 08 at the old Yankee Stadium. Well, how about do you think how guys are superstitious? Do you think his like superstition was like I got to do like 2 bumps every other inning? Or if I strike out, I got to do a bump, and if I don't strike out, then I do 2 bumps. I don't know.
His story could make like a 30 for 30 out of that.
Yeah, they could. They should.
Because I'm pretty sure he dealt with addiction beforehand, got clean, then had those years, and then fell back on the off the wagon, and and that's what ended his career. Essentially,
he could be the new Chris Herron. Remember Chris Herron?
No, I actually don't.
Well, Google. If we don't know Chris Herron, Google it. Josh Hamilton could be the new guy, or he just is a bad boy. So we'll see. Either way, what's good with Class A?
Yeah, Class A. Apparently, they have the Guardians they just have an underground gambling ring underneath their stadium.
Yep.
And every single person is you know who they're sponsored by?
What, Progressive Field or who?
Bet365. That's who sponsors their game day cards. I saw somebody quote retweet it and they were like, sponsored by who? Because now you have
like that's on like their stadium, like he's one of their sponsors.
No, so like when they put the game day like lineups out and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
It says like present to you by Bet365.
That's the craziest betting. There's a lot of different betting ones, but you could be like keep it subtle, like DraftKings, whatever.
Yeah,
this is Bet365. They're literally saying bet every single day of the year.
Yeah,
that's like what their thing is.
And then so Class A is under investigation for a couple of I also think it's first pitch balls again because somebody put one up. It was against like Max freaking Kepler. And he threw it so far over the catcher. And then there was one against like Bobby Witt where it hit the infield grass, dude.
Yeah. Shotty's Wi-Fi. Shotty's got to figure that one out. If you didn't see the video of Class A's pitch, it was similar to Jose Soriano. I mean, they look quite intentional. I don't know how you prove this, though. Unless you don't talk about it, I don't know how you prove it, but I don't know. I wouldn't be so curious as to how these investigations actually go down. Here's Shawnee back at him.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My bad.
It might be your Wi-Fi, but I was just saying, if you didn't see the pitch, everybody out there, go take a look because it is it's quite damning. But here's the thing: it's similar to Jose Soriano, who was his teammate who got busted for a similar thing. I think Soriano might still be under investigation. I haven't heard anything.
I thought it was Luis. Isn't Luis Ortiz?
Or is it Jose Soriano?
I think it's Luis Ortiz.
Whichever one's his teammate, they're the same fucking pitcher, which is the funny thing.
It's Luis Ortiz.
Is that who it is?
It's Luis Ortiz. Both of them are on extended paid leave through the 31st, I'm pretty sure.
Jose Soriano is the Angel, and they have this. They're pretty much identical dudes.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before. But either way, they even pitch on the same days. But not anymore because of Ortiz got banged up for that. And then wasn't shortly after until Class A, who they are teammates. So it's quite interesting. And they had similar pitches, right? Like they're spiking balls. It's not even close. And I don't know how you can prove this shit. We had the same conversation when Ortiz got booked. It's like, I don't know how you prove it unless you have a text messages or something. Like, I don't know how.
Unless he unless he was dumb enough to legitimately be like, place this bet for me on his phone and stuff like on his that you can clear cut see it's him. It's pretty hard to.
Unless they trace the account information to somebody who maybe Class A knows, but even then it's
that's conjecture almost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think you have. We talked about this when Ortiz did it. When you're MLB, you have to save face because you have to anytime that could happen. Or maybe it's happening, and it could be there's always going to be. It's always going to be a little darker behind the scenes than what they want to show to the fans. So by dark, it's not crazy shit's happening. It's not never mind, I won't give an example, but you can just picture some dark shit that might happen behind the scenes of some places. It's never going to be that dark, but in terms of like what's a no-no for baseball, think about the two big ones, steroids and betting on the sport. Like, I think there's clubhouses and locker rooms that might speculate or might, these inner circles and word gets out of like, oh, this guy might be juicing or yada yada, or this guy. But so I think there's
my God. Breaking news. Toronto Blue Jays are finalizing a trade to acquire right-hander Shane Bieber.
Whoa.
The Blue Jays. Wow. That is big.
We wanted the Cubbies to get him. Did we say that when we were on the air? Or were we off air when
you
we
said. I think you said. I don't know. We might have said that, but
fuck, we were just talking about Bieber. I think we did talk about him because we were talking about Mike. I remember saying Mike. Fuck, I wanted the Cubbies to get Bieber.
Wow, that is wild. Dude, the Blue Jays.
Let's finish our thought on Class A because then let's go right into the trade deadline shit. Yeah, that's breaking. That's fucking nuts. I didn't even get the notification. That is super breaking. It broke before my phone.
I get the Twitter. I have Jeff Passan's Twitter.
There you go.
So I get it every time he tweets.
There you go. I get like Passan through ESPN notifications. Mm-hmm. Anyway, who cares? So I think there's these inner circles and these bullshit in that maybe people can. There's like that's going on behind the scenes, or you speculate behind the scenes, and even if it is or it isn't. Like I said, these inner circles or these low-key things happening behind the scenes, you have to set a precedence if you're MLB and make sure it's not the wild, wild west and try to keep the integrity of the game, whether it be true or not. So I just think it's a shitty situation. So whether Class A did it or not, he's going to get fucked because MLB has to set a precedent. Let's get into the trade that we could run through old news. We talked about Naylor to Seattle, Soto to the Mets, McMahon to the Yankees. Had a walk-off yesterday, Sean. How about that? Grichuk the Kansas. So those were kind of the big notable ones that we talked about on Monday. Then the next tier was like guys like Grichuk to Kansas City. Didn't hate that. Guys like Ahmed Rosario to the Yankees. Didn't hate that. Those are kind of was the next tier. Then we had like the low tier for we talked about on Monday, which was like Eric Fetty to the Braves, and it's like, who really cares about that? But that's kind of what got our tootsies wet for the deadline. The real shit didn't really happen until yesterday. Before yesterday, I guess we could talk about. I wanted to bring this one up. Yankees trade Carlos Carrasco to the Braves for cash. The only reason that's notable is because did anyone even remember Carlos Carrasco was on the Yankees?
I had no idea.
To get something for him, that's the big thing there. Like that. Also, Brewers get Danny Jansen. I like to see the Brewers be making moves. I don't hate that at all. I know they have Contreras behind the dish. Again, this isn't your top of the line deadline stuff. That's more so yesterday. But in terms of a guy like Danny Jansen, who's a somewhat notable catcher if you follow the sport, from the Rays, from a young infielder. But the Brewers could touch a little bit of a power bat. Brewers have had William Contreras, who's a notable catcher, but not having the greatest of seasons. Danny Jansen, a little bit of pop behind the plate, and gives you a little bit of depth, rather. So not bad there. Plus, I don't think you can have too much depth. And catchers are an important position. The Brewers are going to, I don't know what else they really need. If they can really get an insane bat today, that would be crazy. But Danny Jansen, a little bit of something to kind of help the team, I guess. And then in the Rays, end up getting Nick Fortes, who's a catcher from Miami. So they deal Jansen and they bring in Nick Fortes. That's the catching moves that's happening with some people in with Milwaukee, and then the two Florida teams doing that thing for Nick Fortes.
Before we start the next part, let's talk about the breaking news of Shane Bieber to the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Because the number one team in the AL East, who also is tied for the best record in baseball right now, just added an insanely good starting pitcher. Granted, he's coming off of an injury, but wow, that's a big move for the Blue Jays. I really want to see who they gave up.
Yeah, does it not out yet?
No, it's not. That's wild, dude. Wild.
That's a playoff ready staff. You could have argued it's a playoff ready staff before Bieber. They love their Bassett, Bieber, Barry. I'm gonna get fucking confused. But either way, Bauer, I think. Don't have Eric Lauer. Who cares? Lauer's been a stud for them. So you have him too. So you could argue that it was a playoff ready rotation before the move. Bieber doesn't have to be anything spectacular here. He's going to coming off a major injury, rehab accordingly, and then be an extra arm and some depth for the playoffs. I mean, realistically, you could stroll into the playoffs and I mean, as of right now, they get a bye.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a best of 5 series, and you're going to stroll in with like a Gausman, a Barrios, a Bassett, who I do trust all of them realistically. Lauer has been fantastic for them. Scherzer's still there, who had like 11 strikeouts in his last outing. I don't think they won that game, but he looked really good. 7 innings, 3 earned, or something like that. And now you throw Bieber on top of it. And again, they're not asking Bieber to go out and be an ace or a former Cy Young like he once was. It's a monster injury. Come back, give us innings, be a dog, because we know you have it in you, because it's still the same. It's still Bieber. It's just an injured guy coming off an injury. So not a lot of pressure, Shane. Go out, do your thing, eat up innings, and help a team win. That's a good fucking move, man. I want to see him go to the Cubs, but his role in Wrigleyville could have been a little bit more rigorous coming off an injury. He would have been looked at to be a top of the line starter. We need you to do so. So little less pressure in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we're going to talk about Suarez later, and I can't get the words out of my mouth because it's absolutely nuts that the Blue Jays pulled this one off. Good for them, and they're going for it. Good for them.
Big swing for Toronto. I don't know if
and also I don't think because the guys they got going right now they're playing really well.
Yeah.
But you also add Seranthony Dominguez to that pen. Granted, Seranthony's nothing to shout about, but their biggest need, everybody was saying, or at least I was saying, I don't know if you, Cal Steven, biggest pop-up prospects of 2025. So it's a prospect going to, which is good for Cleveland. But what was I getting at? Oh, they needed pitching. I think they needed one more arm. You like the staff over there a little bit more than I did.
But you can never have too much pitching, yeah.
Exactly. So now this team is now going to probably be pretty scary come playoffs because they played some damn good team-oriented baseball over there.
They do, and you get really good production. We keep talking about it. Like the Addison Bargers of the world have been insane for them, but it's like we don't have a large sample size of Barger. Is he just going to be like an unsung hero for you all year? Is he riding a hot streak right now? Like, I don't fucking know these things, and you're getting good production out of these other supporting cast members. And I think Varsho might come back soon. So maybe they're looking at that. Like, hey, Varsho I think Springer just got something happened with him. But either way, they're maybe looking at, hey, a guy like Varsho's an everyday starter for us and a Gold Glove center fielder. That's great come this time. If they maybe bring in like a depth piece or something to touch on that, but to really be like, hey, and this is what everybody says, and we say it a million times, you can never have too much pitching, and to bring in a couple of arms, wow, that's great. And I don't know what they do. Maybe they figure some of these starters could move to the pen for the bullpen and kind of have an all hands on deck approach. Maybe that, Hoffman, between Hoffman and Dominguez at the back end of the of the bullpen, really good stuff too. So yeah, they're touching on some arms, which is going to be huge moving forward.
And then you get Santander back sometime in August.
True, and Santander. I forgot about him.
So maybe he comes back and looks a little bit better than he did before he got injured. So
can we do a quick Springer check? See what's good with this guy. He says he's day to day. Did he get hit or something? I guess he's not. It's not too bad. He might just be a Springer. His head is out of the lineup Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So what, did he get hit in the fucking head? It doesn't look like it's too bad. I don't know if it's going to be an IL stint, but we'll see how he looks. He's day to day, so we'll see how he is. But he's been a big piece also. So
yeah, hopefully that doesn't turn into anything bad. But yeah, I think he's just day to day now. They're probably being cautious with him.
So what do you like then, Sean? You AL side of things. Blue Jays real deal. Does this solidify it? If I could put a stamp on it, Blue Jays are the team to beat in the AL, which I guess they always were because of the record. But you still have to be wary of the Tigers, and the Houston is never going to take anyone lightly. They're a well-oiled machine. Who do you like in terms of the first place teams?
The first out of the first place teams right now. I mean, I'm still a fan of. I'm still a fan of Detroit, even though they've come out in the second half and they've been bad. They're on a 4-game win streak now, though. Mm-hmm. Of course, they're on a 4-game win streak headed into Philly, but the Astros still scare the shit out of me, and they've come back down to earth too. But it's because their ball club is so professional, and they've been there, done that. They never seem to fold when pressure's on them. So Astros are still the number one. Blue Jays are kind of the newcomer on the scene. They've been teetering around that playoff atmosphere and
just
stuff
when you
like that.
thought Detroit was kind of the new kids on the block, and now it's like,
Yeah.
no, like this is the new kids is Toronto.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about their lineup. Bo Bichette's having a great year, hitting 291. Vladdy's come alive. Not in the home run department, but he's hitting 295 on the year with the slugging of 465 and an OPS of 865. Springer been unreal. Kirk been unreal. And then you got role players in there too, like an Ernie Clement and Addison Barger. Like all around. And then you bring Santander, and if he looks anything like the Santander of the past, that's a scary lineup on top of it.
Yeah, and then you look at Varsho, I believe, comes back. I want to look at that because while we're just talking about him, Varsho, I guess he comes back soon, but he plays a damn good outfield.
So Varsho, the center fielder, right?
Yeah, he plays a damn good outfield, and then even like Andres Gimenez. So those, like, after you just like you named all those guys, Andres Gimenez is on the IL too. He comes back kind of soon too, maybe next week. So both those guys are set to return within a week apart of each other. But even like those guys who are banged up right now, you're getting good production offensively from the guys that you currently have. You get a Varsho and a Gimenez back, who the offensive numbers don't look sexy, but they're some of the best defensive guys at their respective positions.
Varsho's great gloves.
Great glove in center, and a fantastic great glove who is maybe a multiple-time Gold Glover at second base. So when maybe that's how they look at their team. It's like, yes, we have the pieces in terms of guys who can do it offensively and kind of come off the bench and have great role players. Then we have guys coming back, and whether it's Santander, who's known for his stick, or guys like Varsho and Gimenez, who are known for their gloves, we can be able to just mix and match and put all the pieces together. Let's just get pitching and bullpen, because that's what's going to matter. I wouldn't be shocked if they get another bullpen piece.
Yeah, and just add on. Wow.
Here's some other things that happened. This was yesterday. Braves and Rockies made a move. Who cares? Nationals and Angels made a move. Who cares? Maybe some of these things can turn out to be cool, and maybe the Nationals, they've done a good job in the past with that Padres trade with like bringing in young guys. We'll see how these guys develop. For today, it's not notable to talk about at all. Here is a guy that's notable to talk about because we did touch on the Tigers. So from one first-place team in Toronto to the next, Tigers get Chris Paddack. They also got Randy Dobnak. So this is a Tigers or another first-place team touching on a bullpen piece in Dobnak. I think he's a major league guy. Don't know much about him. He kind of sounds like Bobby Dahlback. That's the name I do remember. But Randy Dobnak, can we do a quick Randy Dobnak check?
Yeah, let me check.
He's got 5.1 innings this season for Minnesota. He's got cool specs. He's got
the Fu Manchu. Yeah, I don't know if he's got it right now, but he had it at one point. This guy rocks.
He's electric. Look, he's like the total electric factory. So I don't know if they're going to use him out of the pen. He's 5.1 innings on the season for Minnesota. Maybe he's a starter. I guess he could start or be in the bullpen. He qualifies for both in terms of fantasy. Whatever the Tigers use him, then great. I'm sure they'll rather use him in the pen because their rotation is so well put together. Plus, they also brought in Chris Paddack, who was kind of the hotter commodity of this deal. Not that Paddack is going to be like a holy shit, blow you out of the water type of guy. He's had his ups and downs this season, but he did have his first outing as a member of Detroit yesterday, and he went 6 innings, 1 earned against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, so I mean,
no walks, 5 strikeouts. Got to win. He already got to win.
Yeah, and if this guy can eat innings for him, like we don't know how many of these people getting traded. People obviously see something in a guy like Paddack, whose numbers don't look that great, or like a Luis Roberts, who numbers also don't look that great, but they think when they get to that winning setting that they're going to be gamers.
Yeah,
that they're going to kind of turn it on, and a change of scenery is going to do well for him. And if his first start's anything like, I mean, against an Arizona team that's undergoing a lot of changes right now, but still has some notable guys. So,
yeah, I'm not mad at it. And the thing with Paddack is, again, he's not going to be asked to be like this top of the line guy. He's maybe a 4 guy on this team.
Yeah, just eat innings for the rest of the year.
And eat innings, and that's what's big with these teams. So similar to what Toronto's doing with Sir Anthony, and now what, Bieber was it?
Yep.
Similar to that, I mean, they just in one foul swoop with the Tigers and one foul swoop with Minnesota, bring in Paddack and Randy Dobnak. I would assume Dobnak to the pen. Paddack, maybe he's a 4 guy. You figured, look at the rotation: Skubal, Flaherty, Casey Mize, Paddack's a kiddo, and then whoever else you get. I don't know what's Reese Olson's deal is, or whoever the fuck else is.
I don't
there.
know also about Job.
Yeah, I don't know about him either. It's too hard to follow all these motherfuckers in Motown. Job's like banged up like a motherfucker.
He's been for a while now, hasn't he?
Maybe he comes back for like playoff time.
He's on the 60-day for a grade 1 flexor strain since June 12th.
And maybe Reese Olson's back for playoff time. But listen, it's no secret that Detroit's going to come at you with arms, and you still have to, in the absence of some of these guys who have been pitching well this year. Job's again had his ups and downs as well, but these guys have been pitching well, and these are younger dudes. In their absence, you still have to be able to compensate and punch your ticket to October, though it does feel like, Detroit won't have a problem punching their ticket to October. You still need arms down the stretch, and Paddock is a good guy for that. I'm not mad at that move at all. So good depth piece there if you're Detroit. They're going to come at you with arms, and they always have. All year they have. We talked about Sir Anthony to the Blue Jays from the O's. Now, I think the only thing we didn't talk about that was during a doubleheader.
Yeah, which is nuts.
One clubhouse to the next. He literally just took some guy. So I think McMahon took an Uber from Baltimore because the Rockies were in town. He took an Uber from Baltimore to the Bronx. That's how he got there. Some guys probably take plane rides and taxis and whatnot. Well, he just had to walk from one clubhouse to the next. So pretty easy transition there. Pretty easy shit. But again, he has since pitched for Toronto, and again, deep in the pen, never a bad idea. Okay, here's one we haven't talked about. I'm gonna get your thoughts on this guy. Third baseman, Ke'Bryan Hayes to the Reds.
This
matters if you want to talk about who goes to Pittsburgh, but good for Cincinnati, I think.
Yeah, I think it's good for Cincinnati as well. Ke'Bryan Hayes has a very good glove. They've been kind of up and down. Ke'Bryan Hayes has like an up and down with the bat, really. Like a lot of Pirates fans are hoping the power wasn't come. It really hasn't. It's just weird that they would trade it. Like, how old is Ke'Bryan Hayes?
28, maybe 29.
Okay, so maybe if the Pirates are thinking about for the future, it's just kind of like, okay. But I know that Sammy guy's a prospect. I don't know how good of a prospect he is.
Sammy Statura, shortstop.
Yeah, I think he's a prospect. And then Taylor Rogers, his twin, Tyler Rogers, actually got traded on the same day. So that's pretty cool. But this is like Ke'Bryan Hayes is a notable person to say, but it's also kind of like why almost.
Oh, I don't hate it at all. Oh, I actually thought Washington Nationals was going to be a good fit for him, but maybe if you're the Pirates, you can't get much from Washington right now. I don't know if they're in a position to really be giving you guys that you want for a Ke'Bryan. Because also the Reds gave him cash. So it was that young shortstop, an established major league arm, pretty much a bullpen arm, right? That young shortstop, and then cash considerations. The thing on Ke'Bryan, I like this move. I don't think he's like blow you out of the water, though he was one of the more notable dudes in Pittsburgh. I don't know if that says much given how their offense looks, but his best season was 2023. Ke'Bryan, he won a Gold Glove. That was the first time Arenado won like 10 straight Gold Gloves. The guy to break that streak was Ke'Bryan. So he plays that really good defense that you talked about. 15 homers, 61 ribbies, hitting 271 that year. That was by far his best season in 124 games. Last year, he only played 96 games, hit 233. This year, he's played 100 games so far, hitting 236. So his big thing is going to be his glove, and whenever he can give you with the bat, even better. But here's the thing: since he's a guy who does it with the glove on a team that's contending for a playoff, you want to secure a good guy who can play lockdown defense and not give up outs at the hot corner. So that's a box that you want to check. And also, you can disguise his bat a little bit better on a over 500 Cincinnati team rather than a Pirates team where it's like, if he's going to be one of our more notable dudes and he's hitting 230, it's like, how do you can't make up for that in Pittsburgh, but you can kind of make up for that if you put him in a lineup with the Reds hitters who currently have 57 wins and are trying to buy their ticket. So I think it's not a bad move for Cincinnati. I like that a lot.
I was more saying like why for the Pirates, because they didn't really get much back. That's kind of why I was saying it, and I don't know how much you can get for Ke'Bryan, as you said. So it's a fair point all the way around.
Yeah, and the Pirates are also notorious idiots. So, but we'll see what they get. Maybe that Sammy dude turns out to be like, I don't know. Maybe they loved him. Maybe they loved Sammy. Who knows? Well, you talked about Tyler Rogers, which is Taylor's twin, Taylor and Tyler. I don't know which one's which. So Taylor's the lefty.
Tyler's the submarine,
who's a righty, but he throws from down here. Well, the Mets got him. The Mets also got Soto a few days ago that we talked about on Monday, and we might as well jump ahead because they also brought in Helsley. That's the Mets bullpen right now, as well as Edwin Diaz.
It's good. I hate that the Mets made these moves because the Mets finally, because they're really good moves. They have an identity now where they're like, if our pitching staff can just get us through 5 or 6, then we're gonna shut the curtain on you 7, 8, 9. Yeah. And that is scary because if you're talking about a team like the Phillies, who notoriously in the past has not jumped on teams early. I mean, granted, sometimes they do, but Phillies are known slow start. The Philly teams are known for slow starters. If you've been following Philly teams for a while, it doesn't matter if it's the Sixers, doesn't matter if it's the Eagles, doesn't matter if it's Phillies. Slow starters, but when they're good, they jump on you fast. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. These are really good moves for the Mets. Really, really good moves for the Mets. They really solidified that bullpen. I don't think they're done either. They'll probably go get a bat. They'll probably go get an outfielder somewhere too. So
maybe a Cedric Mullins. They do need a center fielder.
Yeah,
we'll see what they fucking do. Maybe Luis Robert. They do like their flavor in Queens, and I think Luis has a lot of flavor. And we all know the change of scenery might be good for him. But who knows? Let's see. The only qualm Mets fans might have with this is that they gave up a lot for maybe a Tyler Rogers. It was a big trade. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did. I don't know Mets prospects that well, so fucking sue me. I don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't follow prospects in Queens. I don't even know where their minor league is. You know? I feel like I did know, but now I don't know.
It's not Durham. Shit. Syracuse.
It is Syracuse. Yeah. So sorry, I don't know that. It's fucking too cold there anyway. Who the fuck knows? Fucking orange. But either way, that's a dumb mascot, right? Is it the color or the fruit?
What?
The orange. Is that the color or the fruit?
It's the color.
But I think their mascot might be a dude in an orange.
That wouldn't shock me. It's the Mets. They give me what's the Mets organization. They're the gimmiest team alive.
So that's what I wanted to say. I just thought I got a comment on this one video I posted. Some guy was like, Yohan Duran's walkout will be sick at Philly. We'll talk about Yohan in a second. Yeah. I'm sure you're excited about. I will actually. I think you are, right? I know they gave up Mick, but hold on. But either way, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, Yohan Duran," and then it got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I didn't even think of that about these walk because Helsley has a walk-up song too. If Helsley's the guy for the 8th, then what are they doing in Queens? A walkout for the 8th and then Diaz for the 9th? That's why they did it. They're getting why the Mets did. They would have a walkout song I'm sure Steve Cohen, there's 2 things he does. One, he's not afraid to spend money, so there's no doubt in my mind he'll go out and get a center fielder too or another bat. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, he'll do it. And second thing is he's gimmicky and he probably watches Banana Ball. And I don't know if you've ever seen that shit, they just play music the whole entire time in Banana Ball. So that's what he's trying to do now. He's trying to bring those types of elements to a major league game. And now last year when it was like, oh my God, remember that last year? They don't have that this year. They need that extra juice. So now they have Helsley's little flavor for the 8th, Diaz flavor for the 9th. And now it's just one big fucking.
Well, dude, it's 2 different ones because you're having Hell's Bells in the 8th and then trumpets in the 9th. And it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It's
Hell's Bells is electric. I won't lie. His walkout is awesome.
And we were assuming he's the 8th. And then you have Rogers, who's that weird arm slot guy, who's he's a good reliever. He's an established reliever. And then Soto, lefty. So that's kind of your back end there. And I don't know what's good with like a Reed Garrett per se. I feel like he's been in the news lately. I feel like he's not a bad reliever though. Is he still with the Mets? Is he still healthy?
Oh, I'm not sure.
He looks like he is. He pitched yesterday, and he has an ERA of 2.7 and has 20 holds on the season.
So I mean, they really built that bullpen up. Good for them. They made some good trades. They didn't implode on themselves, which I was freaking praying that they were gonna. But
I do agree with you. I do think that's what their game plan is going to be. It's like, okay, we get arms anyhow, sure. In this case, you're doing it in the form of bullpen. If you can do starters, great. But they're saying, hey, maybe we saw Manaea last year, what he could do in the second half. He's still kind of fresh. Like Manaea's only going to be a midseason form in the playoff start because he missed a lot of the season. So if his midseason, it might just be the playoffs. Whatever's good with like Montez, but they're like, hey, fucking McGill. Like these injuries could be a bit of a blessing in disguise to kind of help them preserve arms, and because that was my biggest issue with them is, do they have innings eaters? Well, maybe they don't have to because they have a
bullpen now.
They have bullpen, and they also have a lot of guys. They have probably like maybe you could argue 6 notable starters. Not that any of them is going to be like holy shit, but you could do enough there and then save it with the pen. But speaking of pens, let's talk about Duran because I like this. Yeah, I'm
pumped, dude. I'm pumped. I'm super excited. He's still got a little bit on his contract on top of it. Like we finally have a solidified closer. We haven't had a solidified closer in years. And so it's very nice to finally have that guy that come rain or shine, that 9th inning he's getting the baseball. So that is huge for us. We haven't had that in forever. We address a little bit. So now you got Strom, Kerkering, Duran, Alvarado will come back for whatever amount of time. I don't even know if they're going to let him freaking pitch. But they probably will because they need someone to eat innings. And then, it's still not great, but we didn't I'll be honest, we didn't give up a whole lot. Like Mick Abel, I think he's going to be a good pitcher in the MLB. I don't think he's going to be anything special, but I think he's going to be a solid pitcher. If you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down there, that he's not going to be this all-star. I don't think.
Like maybe he goes on to have like a 15-year career and makes an all-star team here and there. Like being a serviceable pitcher.
Exactly, and his stock honestly dropped off so much the past 2 years. I have nothing but respect for Mick Abel because last year in AAA, it was looking like he was a bust and he was going to be a career like kind of minors player, get dealt in some deals and stuff like that. But no, he turned it around this year, came up, had some good outings for the Phillies, had some really good outings, some gutsy outings against some good teams. So I give all the respect in the world to a guy like Mick Abel. But when you can go get a guy like Johan Duran, you go get him at no means. And then we sent, I don't know if it's Tate or Tait. I'm not sure.
I think I was saying Tate.
But he's also 19. And knowing the Phillies organization, he would be up till he was like 28. So that's 9 years of waiting on this guy. It's almost like we didn't really lose a whole lot in him either.
Yeah, so not bad. And I think, you have to have a little bit of a sense of urgency here, go all in, address the back end of the pen, which we knew that the whole world knew, that that's what they need. And like you said, when's the last time they did have a stud lockdown closer? Maybe they tried it with Kimbrel, and he made an all-star team one year, but I mean, it didn't really necessarily end well.
Didn't pan out well at all.
And he was older, and this is a 27-year-old guy. I don't know the last time they fucking had kind of this young, established, solidified guy for the 9th. I don't know. Maybe you go as far back as Lidge. It wouldn't be. I mean, Papelbon. He had some, but he was also kind of older.
Yeah.
He did make some all-star teams though. So it's not like the Phillies haven't had some like closers that have been notable in the grand scheme of things that have also made all-star teams. But Duran is like that kind of that young all-star caliber, high leverage arm, which is again awesome. And I'm on Mick Abel to just finish it off. Seems like a nice kid. I've seen some interviews with him. Seems like a good dude. So of course we wish him the best, and hopefully he has a good career in Minnesota.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean because Minnesota they're never harming anybody. No one's ever scared of Minnesota. So go be a legend. Go be a Cy Young in Minnesota, man.
I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but when Jose Alvarado first got thrown on the like suspension list, and Mick Abel threw his first outing as a Philly against the Pirates, or no, maybe it was his second outing. It was against the Pirates. The next day on here, I said, "Bye, Mick. You're going for a reliever right now."
Yeah, you did say that.
So he, and it obviously couldn't have been, Twins need pitching, young pitchers. They need prospects. They need to rebuild and stuff like that. So it's a good move for the Twins as well.
Yeah. And Abel, who knows what his path to the show even looked like. I mean, yes, obviously he did have some starts, but to be a consistent guy in the rotation, I know the Phillies might have to address some things with like Ranger on a contract year and when Nola's coming back and Painter's coming up and they have all these fucking moving parts. They have like arguably two aces right now. It's like there's so many moving parts in Philly in terms of the rotation. It's like
there was no room for him.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like his best shot to be in an everyday major league rotation where he does belong is going to be here. So for his sake, yeah, it sucks. He's a good kid and he's been a dog and he's been with the organization, but it's also could be a good thing for him to be, hey, Minnesota's not Philly, but it's Minnesota. To say the least. AL Central, Mick Abril. That's cool. Okay, here's the other one. Because let's just talk about this. Tigers acquire Rafael Montero. I think he's a reliever from
another arm.
So another arm, yeah. And not that this is so notable. We don't have to. The next one is going to be the big one. That's Suarez. But in 38.1 innings on the season, Rafael Montero, 5.4 ERA. Hey, everyone in that Braves bullpen probably has shit ERAs. The Tigers might see something in him. And between him and the few other arms that we talked about going to Motown, that's what's going to prevail. These first place teams want to continue to, not get complacent. Continue to get arms. So a cutesy little move for Detroit. Nothing too notable, but you like to see these first place teams get arms. He might help in terms of depth and innings. Here's the guy, though. This is the big one. Eugenio Suarez back to Seattle. He had some connections there, and they got it done. So a couple of corner infielders that started the year in Arizona are now finishing the year in Seattle because Naylor has been there. So he's joining his former teammate there on his former team. What do you make about this one?
Mariners really remember. I don't want to say they heard what we were saying, but we were like, "Wow, I don't really know if the Mariners are going to make any moves because in the past they haven't." They really said, "Fuck you guys. Let me go get some corners, protect Cal Riley, put Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez in a lineup with Julio Rodriguez and Cal Riley." Holy shit, dude!
And how about this? So them and Texas are 500. Or sorry. Have the same record, 57 to 52. Both of them are 5 games back against Houston, yada, yada, yada. I'd love to see Texas do something today. They've been quiet.
They've been real quiet. Yeah.
They've been a little too quiet, but they have been playing better. 7-3 in their last 10, and they've gotten above 500, have yet to look back. We've been waiting for them to do stuff like that. However, that's not my point. Texas and Seattle, same fucking record, both trying to punch their ticket to October, both of them behind Houston. They play each other tonight, start of a 4-game set. 9:40 at Seattle. There's only 3 games today. There's only 3 games.
God damn it.
We can do a little look ahead because there's only like 2 more trades after the Suarez thing that we can touch on. We could do it because there's only 3 games. We could do a little look ahead. That might be, or we just do it right now because that is one of 3 games. It's the late game. Texas at Seattle. I would assume Suarez is in the lineup with Naylor. It's going to look like a really good fucking. And also, I think there's a reason to believe that J-Rod might be waking up.
I would say so too. Maybe that all-star, appearance gave him a little bit more confidence as well. Dude, this lineup,
really quick with J-Rod, 5 homers in his last 7 games, hitting 290.
Yeah. So the lineup looked completely different with Josh Naylor, right? It was 10 times better once you throw Josh Naylor in there. Now you throw Suarez in there, and it's completely different. It is the exact opposite of what we said previously to it. They have right now they've had the best deadline.
I would say so.
Hands down have had the best deadline. They address what they needed.
If they get a cutesy little reliever, they don't need much. If they get something to address their bullpen today, I don't think it could have been more perfect for them.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't even know what they gave up, but it almost doesn't matter because like Suarez even if he's a rental, guess what? They know who they are, and they said, "Oh, guess what? We're gonna go win it this year." Like they are putting their stamp on that. This is our year. We are not gonna waste this year from Cal Riley.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a team that struggles not just to like go on deep playoff runs or win pennants. This is a team that struggles to just get into the postseason. Period. Mm-hmm. They have 1 playoff berth in like the past 20 years. They had that huge drought. That was like maybe 20 years drought that they snapped in a few years ago. Now, maybe that was circa 2021, but they haven't been back since. So they struggled just to get there. So I like to see them doing something different. Like whatever they were doing in the past, because they had some notable dudes in the past, and they were kind of building an identity over these last few years. But it wasn't whatever it wasn't enough to get over the hump to actually, punch your ticket to October. And now that they're learning from it and they're saying, well, if we actually do want to do that, we have a good little team. We believe in this team, but we have to seriously address things at the deadline. And they've done that pretty much better than I think anyone else has so far with bringing in they were already an over 500 team in a playoff picture. Then they bring in a notable first baseman who was maybe a top 5 first baseman in baseball in Naylor. And then they bring in a guy who's currently a top 10 or a top 5 third baseman in baseball, who's going to get MVP votes this year in Suarez. The only thing with Suarez is he got hit in the hand again. He keeps getting hit in the hand,
dude, and
a lot.
Everybody had to. So now the Mariners have 2 of the top 5 home run hitters in baseball.
Wow, Riley and the thing is, so you have Naylor from the left side, Suarez from the right side. Both of them are pretty much middle of the lineup bats. If that's your 4-5 hitters or your 2-3, whatever the fuck they do, because I don't know where they like Riley. Do you like Riley hitting 3, and then you put he's a switch hitter, so you could put either of them behind him, and then you hit one that's 5th. Like that's a deep just like that. In the matter of a week or so, maybe less than a week, they just
3 days.
They just solidified whatever. They just deepen their lineup where they can say 1 through 5 in this lineup, at the very least 1 through 5, and then whatever other production we get from like our 6 through 9 hitters, but 1 through 5, because you got to remember J-Rod at the top with Rosarina is going to be somewhere around there. They were both all-stars. They were both all-stars this year.
I think if you put maybe Julio,
J-Rod,
top
4 hitters could be all-stars. We're all all-stars this year.
J-Rod 1, Rosarina 2. Cal 3, Suarez, Naylor.
Yeah. The top 4 hitters are all-stars, and then there's Naylor, who could have been an all-star.
Like it's that top 5 it almost doesn't matter who your bottom of your lineup is.
It's that top 5 plus their original game plan from the start of the season, which was going to be, play defense, whatever, Dylan Moore's a good defender, and you have guys like that. Play good defense. Pitching can keep you in games, and then you have a really good guy for the 9th inning, and Munoz, who's probably maybe he's still the best closer in baseball, but he's still up there nonetheless. Yeah. And then you have guys coming off injuries. Again, they're another team that they had a lot of pitching injuries at the beginning of the season. By the time like some of these guys really start to get into their groove, it's going to be the most pivotal time of the season. Of course, Wu was an all-star, and they had some other notables, but that was their game plan coming into the season is, hey, whatever production we can get from our top of the order, but we have to play good defense, and our pitching's going to keep us in games. Bullpen back end looks all right. Let's shut them down. It's still that same game plan, except now their top of the order has just gotten a whole lot bigger and badder. And I don't know. This is they have the making, and they play a good brand of baseball too. Pitching can keep you in games, and now they're getting a lot of production and a lot more power. They never were a team that really dazzled you with the long ball, but now with Raleigh having the year he's having and Suarez, that's nuts.
Dude, I just love a team that says fuck it. We're going for it.
Yeah.
I there's nothing better to me than when a team says just says screw it. This is our year. We're gonna, and even if it isn't, we're gonna make sure we make it known that we think it's our year.
Yeah, I love that. We'll see how deep they could get because hey, they are still not a first place team. And then we talked about some of the 3 biggest, baddest teams on the AL side. I don't know if Houston has really done per se.
No, they've slowed down since we were talking a lot about them previously.
But just in terms of the deadline, like I still think they're a well-oiled machine, a well-rounded team that would still scare me in the playoff atmosphere. Same with Detroit and Toronto. So Seattle's they're trying to make that next leap because right now they're tied with Texas. 4-game set starts tonight in Seattle. They're tied with Texas though. They've got to how do you separate yourself from that group and try to put yourself in conversations to be, a top 4 team in the American League, which right now I don't think they are in terms of record.
Yeah, right now the thing with that I'm not jumping off ship with the Astros so far is Jake Myers, Yordan Alvarez, Jeremy Pena, and Isaac Paredes are all on the IL right now.
Are they?
Yeah, so that's a good decent amount, a good chunk of their lineup.
Wait, that's a lot. Paredes, I thought Paredes played yesterday, but I could be tripping.
Maybe he's back.
No, he's on the IL.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. That's nuts. Okay, so who else is on the IL for them? Paredes, Myers.
Myers, Alvarez, and Jeremy
Yeah.
Pena is still on the IL.
Yeah, and that sucks. Yeah, so maybe they're just like, oh, we stay afloat. They're on a 2-game win streak without those motherfuckers. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. Let's get a little pitching. Zach Littell to the Reds. There's the Reds doing another thing.
Yeah.
Don't hate it.
No, don't hate it. That Reds. I thought the Reds rotation was already really good, and Zach Littell's just another innings eater right there.
The thing with the Reds rotation is what's good with Hunter Green. He's still banged up.
Still banged up, yeah.
And then I guess he's coming back in a week or so, or at least he's set to return then. And then, we could always talk highly about Chase Burns, but he's not like totally settled in the major league level yet. We've seen glimpses of what he can be, and he throws gas, but realistically, he's 0-3 on the season with a 6.26 ERA.
Yeah.
There's Chase. So in a perfect world, Green's healthy, Chase Burns settled in, and he's a young stud. And then you have Abbott doing what he does. Lodolo's a fine pitcher, and it's like, oh, this is great. But right now, it's not a perfect world because Green, who's your ace, is banged up. Burns, your young stud. I think there's no doubt in my mind he can find it, but he just has yet to do it in his first 5 starts or whatever it is. We love Andrew Abbott. Here's another Littell. I think is he a lefty? He might be. Isn't Lodolo and Abbott all lefties too? So good little mix of lefties in there. Then Green comes back. Maybe Burns can kind of settle in. And if this also pushes Burns with Green coming back and Littell coming in, if that makes like Chase Burns like a 5 pitcher for them, maybe that just takes a lot of stress off of Burns. It's like, okay.
Dude, he's a young guy. He was drafted in 2024.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Like
he's a young guy.
Take a little pressure off of him, kind of make him a back end of the rotation guy if he's not already. And then, then you have a lot of arms they have to punch your ticket to October. That's the big thing, number one. But they're playing like a damn good team. Can we take a look at the NL wildcard picture? They're 3 games back from a playoff spot.
Hey, they're still there.
And Padres are hot.
Padres are hot right now.
So we'll have to we'll do our Wet Hot America weekend. We'll see who plays who because it has all the makings to like we did it last time. Milwaukee's now in first place. So
I know
that was like our last Wet Hot America because they played each other, or that was our look ahead on Monday. We were like, they played each other. That's crazy. So either way, I mean, we'll see what Cincinnati has looking ahead. But if they want to make up ground with Terry Francona on your side, they want to make up ground with 3 games back. Yeah, Littell, fine little addition there. Not mad at it at all. But speaking of that division, because we saw the Cubbies too fall out of first place. Mike Soroka to the Cubs. I thought Bieber was a better move, but if you're just joining us now, Bieber breaking news to Toronto. Soroka to the Cubs. This cannot be their move, right? This can't be their pitching move. We all know they need pitching, but this can't be their big one.
They need Joe Ryan,
which would be crazy.
They need either Alcantara or Cabrera, I guess.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a Mitch Keller.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, that might be a good one as well.
That's a good little list of the pitchers that could be out there. Yeah.
Some other notables.
I like Keller. Yeah, what are the other notables?
So other notables still on the market. Let's see. Who did I just list?
Keller, fucking.
So Charlie Morton and Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about the D-backs.
Yeah, the D-backs guys. And then Dylan Cease. I know you don't like Dylan Cease, but they're saying he's available as well.
Yeah, but I wouldn't hate for the Cubs to get him. I'm not a Dylan Cease fan, but the Cubs need – Cease is a little overrated for me, but if he was on the Cubs, I wouldn't hate it. With that offense, I mean, not that his current team is a good team, but the Cubs, they need a top of the line. They need a big name guy at the top. And I know Cease's numbers on paper don't look sexy, but you need a big – and I don't really want Gallen. I'd rather have Cease on the Cubs than Gallen. Love Merrill Kelly. But if you go even nuts and say Joe Ryan, that's nuts. I wanted them to get Alcantara. I think Alcantara just fits and kind of makes sense for this team. And Alcantara in his last 2 starts has kind of looked really good again. If Soroka is just a depth piece and say, hey, we need arms anyway, we can. Let's bring him in. And then if we don't get like a Joe Ryan, say, or even Alcantara might be considered an ace for them, then it's like if we don't get that level of dude, then we can maybe get 2 all right dudes instead of 1 monster guy. But I don't know if Soroka, I would even consider him to be all right. I just think it's like, okay, cool. Like you kind of got an arm, 4.87 ERA. Like, yeah, you kind of got an arm, but you still need a monster move. Like, I would rather them get a monster move. Hey, there's Soroka on the back end. Cool, no one cares. Rather than them just saying, oh, we'll get two little cutesy guys to fill the void of one monster. It's like, that's not that. You can't do that.
You have no idea what's going to happen with Kyle Tucker at the end of the year. You have to go get a pitcher.
Yeah, you got to be all in.
Yeah. Them, and I don't think the Cubs are done. I don't think the Mets are done. I think the Phillies might make a play for a hitter. Like maybe we'll see. I don't know. Probably not. Knowing them. But and I don't think the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been quiet. I think they're still calling about some of these pitchers.
A lot of people are speculating Joe Ryan there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But also so that's it for our transactions. Here's some people still on there. You got Griffin Jacks for relief pitcher, Raziel Iglesias at the Braves, and Bednar with the Pirates. Also, you could throw Dennis Santana in there too, Pirates-wise as well. Hitters, some notables. Luis Roberts still hasn't been traded. Cedric Mullin still hasn't been traded. They have Arenado on this list. Don't know if he's going to leave. Steven Kwan, and then Ozuna from the Braves.
There's some notables, and you talked about some teams you don't think are done. I would expect the Yankees to maybe go after a Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen type. We'll see what happens there. You want to think that Houston and Texas in the West there, the Rangers and the Astros, they've been quiet too. I mean, they're playing good ball lately, but no one's going to be perfect. So what do they address? And wouldn't be a deadline if like the Dodgers fucking got like a bullpen piece or something. I don't know. You figure they do something, but they're pretty.
I feel like a Griffin Jacks would probably be a good fit for them.
Yeah, they're not afraid to spend money. They're not perfect by any means. Padres are only 3 games out on a 5-game win streak. Dodgers have not come out the second half perfect, but they know that they can do enough to stay afloat, punch their ticket to October. Then they'll be healthy in October, and then that's really all that matters for them.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Reds, love to see the Reds doing shit too. So that's good. Let's talk about this really quick. Which deadline piece from the ones that we've seen already? We just went over pretty much all the notable ones and some dumb ones too. Which one makes the biggest impact in the postseason, or team, player, individually? Who do you like that you like so far?
It was Suarez, but then Shane Bieber just got traded.
So you think that's the move? That just put Toronto over the top. He hasn't pitched at all this year.
Exactly. So I'm still leaning Eugenio Suarez because he's done it this year already. But I'll tell you what, that Shane Bieber move's real interesting to me. It really made me perk up a little bit there.
Yeah.
But it is Suarez to me. I think a sneaky one was the Mets adding Helsley. I think that one is not going to be talked about a lot, but it is a damn good move for them. But it's Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah, I love to say what the Mariners did between Suarez and Naylor. So if we're just talking like one team in particular, love that out of Seattle who needed some they were staying afloat with the offense that they had, and now they just add 2 big boppers to go on top of it. Great. I hate to give Mets their flowers, but sometimes you do, because I mean that pen looks spectacular, and in a division when you're competing with the Phils and kind of trading blows for first place, right now the Mets are a half game up. And you're trading blows with the Phils. You know, the Phils have had their run-ins in first, and it's been back and forth. How do you separate yourself? Well, the Phillies' biggest concern is their bullpen. The Mets, I don't think their pen was as bad, but they've done a better job of touching up on their pen as of late. But either way, the Phillies' starting pitching is better, so it depends how they want to go about their arms. I still think the Phillies I love that they got Duran, nonetheless. And we'll see what they do with their starting pitchers, if they make anyone long relievers down the road, which I think Dombrowski has alluded to. Either way, I think those are the two. I don't have – if we're talking teams, I think the Mets and then their bullpen, great job. I even like how the Tigers brought in arms. You could ever have too many, kind of like what the Reds been doing. Seattle's the big, heavy hitter. Seattle, if this deadline would end today, I think Seattle would win it. So I'd have to agree with you. Should we do a quick
You want to, or you want to save it for tomorrow?
Well, just a quick Thirsty Thursday look ahead, because right now it's today's game 4. Yankees are going for it's game 4 of the Tampa Bay at the Yankees. Yankees are trying to win the series. Tampa Bay is trying to split the 4-game set. Yankees, hey, Ryan McMahon yesterday was the big talk of the town. Walk off long single to walk it off. Ryan McMahon, hey, maybe he's the fucking guy. Maybe he's the big impact guy.
Good day.
Okay, but that's what's going on there. Hey, here's one. Atlanta at Cincinnati. This is the start of a 4-game set. Good for Cincinnati. They're at home too, and they got a shitty Braves team. Now they have some new characters coming into play. I don't know when Littell pitches, but Cabrian, I think we could expect him. Big stuff there.
Raceway Series or whatever, the Speedway Series.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Speedway Series.
Is this the Bristol Motor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The first ever Major League game played at a motor speedway. It's like, yeah, I would expect that. I was just pull this shit out of a hat. But the attendance is going to be nuts. I think they're putting it fits like 146,000, which is like
that's wild.
It blows Beaver Stadium out of the water.
Yeah, they'll fill that shit up.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. That's kind of nuts. I also saw in MLB The Show they have like a thing.
They do.
You can play at Bristol Motor Speedway.
It's pretty gas.
They got cool jerseys and shit. That's at 7:10 tonight. So that's the start of a 4-game set. I don't know how – is it a 4-game series at the – wait, no, maybe it's a 2-game. Let me just get my facts right. There's only one more game after that, so who cares? Maybe it's only a – oh, no. I mean, they're playing a 4-game set. Is it a 4-game – oh, wait. They don't play Sunday.
Oh, so they got Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, you're right.
So it's the rare Thursday to Saturday 3-game set. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Sunday.
Are they playing all games at Bristol Motor?
Probably. I would assume so. You're not gonna. No. When they did Field of Dreams, it was just 1 game, wasn't it?
Field of Dreams could have been a 2-game series. So if this is a 3-game series, and it's just, or do they? I don't know what the fuck they're doing. We'll just have to watch. I'm sure like on the broadcast tonight at 7:10, they'll talk all about it. We'll see. It'll be on MLB Network, I guess. And then the big talk. So actually, those are some interesting games. Okay, it's Tampa Bay, New York in the Bronx. Yankees trying to win a 3 out of 4. Tampa Bay trying to split. Division rivals. Yankees need to do it. That's cool at 105. That'll lead us off on a small slate Thursday. Then we got that Bristol Motor Speedway game.
Oh, they're playing all 3 games there.
Okay, so all 3 games at the fucking racetrack. That's cool at 7:10. It'll be different. It'll be, a little talking point there on MLB Network. And then to round us out, only 3 games today, like I said, Texas at Seattle, which is going to be the best game, is going to probably be the best. Yes, you have the division rival Yankee stuff, and you have the Bristol Motor Speedway, but Texas at Seattle, that deserves to be the late night under the lights. Seattle, Texas is in town. They have the same exact record. So similar to what we saw with the battle for first place in the NL Central to start the week. We're kind of going to get that in a 4-game set starting tonight for the race, try to get the second place because they're tied for second. There's a chance, the 4-game set, Sean, there's a chance that they both stay at second. Tied for
exactly,
second.
Which is kind of wild. I don't know who has the tiebreaker right now. Probably the Mariners because with how bad the
how the Texas started.
Yeah, like how the Rangers started. But the Rangers have obviously turned it around now. You got Rocker and Kirby going tonight. This is why we love late. This is like why we love the dog days of summer baseball, baby. True baseball fans, they love these goddamn series. The ones where
the ones
these
that
are the series that matter. These are the series that you look back at in September and you're like, thank God we got that done in July, August.
Yeah. 4-game set to basically end July and start August against a team that you really have to beat, and also prove to yourself that you can beat them because it's a playoff caliber team.
This is a playoff caliber series now.
Which is nuts. All of that is a nice little – wait, let me put the banner up. Trade deadline Thursday. So that's what trade deadline Thursday is going to look like. So we basically already had one move that's been pretty big in terms of Bieber, former Cy Younger, who hasn't pitched this year yet, but that's huge going to Toronto. They touch on that. Some other notable teams touching on some cutesy things. We've seen some blockbusters. We've seen some, depth pieces, what have you. I think we're going to see a lot today. Plus, only 3 games, but that's fine. They're all pretty notable. And in the midst of 3 games going on, I think we're going to see a lot of breaking news, and Jeff Passan's going to be busy.
He is going to be busy.
I love that. And I guess tomorrow, our regularly scheduled Friday program. You're tuned in, Sean, in the morning. Trade deadline Thursday. You got to love it. Off-base media, baby.